All right, Liberty Flames in the bye week here, and we're visiting now with the head coach of the Flames, Turner Gill. The Flames 3-2 just before they open up Big South play here at home in a couple of weeks. Coach, coming off of a loss, it's never easy, but is it a good time for a bye week, or would you rather be back out there playing somebody after that game?
I think it's a little bit combination of both. Obviously, bad taste in the last two ball games haven't come our way, but also we need some time to get our players to play a little bit better, and we'll investigate all the things that we need to improve on, and we'll attack that this week.
I think the biggest thing going around right now amongst the Flames fans, Flames Nation, is just the talk about the offense right now. This offense averaged nearly 50 points a game the first 3 weeks, looked like world beaters out there, and then last couple of games, only 8.5 points per game. Is the drop-off a concern, or is it more of, hey, it's going to be hard to kind of maintain what they did the first 3 weeks?
Well, I think we can get back to where we were at the first 3 ball games. I think the other thing is we played 2 pretty good defenses. Of course, Jacksonville State had a very good defense. St. Francis had a very good defense. So a combination of those things, and we didn't play up to our potential. Then also when you have turnovers, I think that was the other aspect of the game there. We had 6 turnovers there in the last 2 ball games, and we didn't get any turnovers as far as those 2. So you just take that alone, you're going to not be as productive.
You mentioned the turnovers. Buckshot Calvert last couple of games, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, albeit one of those on a kind of a funky play where maybe the player was offsides, maybe he wasn't. But are teams scheming him a little bit differently? And could you kind of talk about his decision-making, and have you been pleased with it over the last couple of games?
Well, it's a combination of everybody. A little bit of Buckshot needs to make some improvement. They have been making some adjustments the last 2 ball games as far as how they're defending us, as far as in their secondary and some of the things they're doing with their linebackers and so on and so forth. So it's not something that's out of whack. We just got to, they did a good thing to try to knock our timing off, and they did. But I think it's a little bit of everybody, offensive line, our running backs, our receivers. They got to make some adjustments as far as when they do some different defensive things at the post-snap. So a lot of people here the last 2 ball games, post-snap, they show one look and they're doing a different look, and sometimes that throws off a little bit of timing, and they're mixing up some of those blitzes too, and so we got to pick that up.
I think you had mentioned after the game on Saturday night in the second half, your staff had made some adjustments at halftime and had started to figure some things out, but the turnovers were kind of a killer at that point. Were you pleased with the adjustments that you were able to make going forward, and what were some of those?
Well, I think the adjustments we made there, we had a few more different routes that we thought were more better for us against this defensive look, and we had some success. We then also made a personnel change there. We decided to go with Tory Matthews to give us a little bit more speed in there, and that had a great opportunity to make some plays. But again, when you have 4 turnovers in the second half, you really shouldn't even have a chance in it, and we still had a chance from that perspective. So we did make some adjustments. We did a thing. We just didn't take care of the football. So it really was more self-inflicted by ourselves as far as not able to keep the drives going.
What about the use of Tory Matthews and, for that matter, Todd Macon as well? He had only 5 carries in his first game back. Probably didn't expect a whole lot more out of him than that first game. But how would you like to see those 2 guys used going forward? Do you want to see Tory maybe out of the backfield a little more, catching some balls in space? How do you envision it?
Well, that's still undecided at this point in time. We're going to continue to evaluate where we're at and where we're going, and so we'll do that for the rest of the week. And then next week we have a game plan. We're definitely going to look at the things that we need to look at to improve our football team, and I think our defense has improved from the last 2 ball games. Offense has taken a little bit of a back seat per se. I also think we need to improve on our special teams. So we're going to look at everything where we need to make some adjustments, and we'll make those and be ready to go here against Kennesaw State.
Yeah, on the defensive side, probably had one of your, if not your best game all year, and specifically Chris Turner. We had talked a little bit about his playing time earlier in the week. Seemed like he really stepped up and responded in a big way. 10 tackles, a couple of pass breakups, and a sack in that game against St. Francis.
Well, he responded like we wanted him to respond. Again, we got competition, and we always love competition, and so we always make decisions the best to give us the best chance to win, and he responded like we wanted to. Our defense responded in a good way, and now we just need to get the more turnovers. I think the other part of it was the red zone production on both sides of the ball defensively there. We've been, I think, 11 out of 12. They've actually scored a touchdown when people got in the red zone, so we gotta get those things corrected too.
What about the use of the bye week here coming up? We talk about it being at a good time. You got Kennesaw State coming in, a team that runs the triple option, different kind of offense. Is it good in that sense? Will there be some extra preparation going into that?
Well, we're definitely going to have extra preparation because of what they do offensively. It's a different scheme. We've actually played them 2 or 3 times, so we do actually know what to do and how to attack it, whether we make some adjustments as far as going this year, and then we'll look at that. Again, they're a good football team. They do a lot of good things. Their defense is improved. So we'll look at those things. We're going to improve it for this week, looking at Kennesaw State. But we're also going to look more of ourselves, too, to go back to the fundamentals.
Last thing here, health-wise, I know Ethan Crawford missed the last game. You hope to get him back for Kennesaw State, and where are some other health concerns?
Well, I don't think there's anything else. We're good that we have this bye week. Ethan Crawford may have a chance. We'll just continue to evaluate him and see what happens here in the next week or two.
All right, Coach, appreciate the time and wish you the best of luck coming up against Kennesaw here in the bye week as well.
All right, to God be the glory.